All right, let's talk oxalate dumping. I do a lot of discussion about the anti-nutrient oxalate. I'm John Laspina, the Carnivore Teacher, and oxalate dumping is my topic today. When we consume oxalates, which are these microscopic shards of glass type substance found in many nuts and seeds and plants, used by the plants to protect themselves from being eaten. It's also used by the plants for photosynthesis and for calcium absorption, mineral absorption. But when we eat these oxalates, they collect in our body, and when it's time for our body to get rid of these oxalates, they bind to magnesium and calcium, and they strip our essential minerals from our body, but they also form these little crystals and they have to leave the body, and that's called dumping. So oxalate dumping is when the oxalate crystals are trying to get out of the body, and if you're lucky, you can just move your bowels and you've got rid of them. If you're lucky, they were small enough to go through your kidneys and come out without any problem. A lot of people have oxalate dumping problems because they have too many oxalates. The human body can have and hold and maintain and efficiently dump without any problems approximately 150 to 180 milligrams of oxalate per day. We, as a biological end product, make a little bit of oxalate too. So our body makes a little bit, and the amount of oxalate we eat, if we go past the 150, 180 milligrams, if we go too high, then our body gets too much of this oxalate and it has to dump it out faster, more volume. Think a rushing torrent of a river instead of a nice little creek. And that causes problems. It gets stuck in the kidney. That's called a kidney stone. It has to go through different areas, and as it goes through, it's ripping and scraping and tearing because they're jagged, sharp stones, these calcium oxalate stones. If they are in your eyelid, they can scratch your cornea. Some women, it comes out of their breast, like in their breast milk. It can get lodged in your knuckles or your joints or your knee. It hurts. You think you have arthritis. You think you have gout, but it's really oxalates trying to dump out of the body, and they got caught. Some people oxalate dump and it just feels like you have a flu-like symptom. That's the one I get. I'm still dumping oxalates after all these years. I had a kidney stone. How many years ago was that now? I had a kidney stone about 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 4.5 years. And then like a year later, I had one that came out of my eye. I had a problem with this eye for the longest time, and I found out it was an oxalate crystal. I think it was. And then I would get, from time to time, every 3 months or 4 months, I didn't have a cold, I didn't have the flu, I didn't have COVID, there were no issues, didn't have a temperature or anything, but I felt toxic, I felt icky. I felt like I had a flu-like symptom that lasted 2 days, and then it went away. And I've learned that that could be also oxalate dumping. Now, my oxalate dumping symptoms are getting smaller and smaller every couple of months because I think I'm getting the maximum amount that I gave myself. I've dumped them already, but I still have to get them out. I'm very conscious of that number, 150 to 180 milligrams a day. I'm a carnivore for that reason, and many other reasons, but the reason of I don't want oxalates in my body. Where do the oxalates come from? Spinach, cinnamon, turmeric, black pepper, dark chocolate, rhubarb. There's a whole list of high, medium, and low oxalate plant foods. So I took out all the plant foods. Now, if I get an oxalate dumping symptom that's really hard for me to go through, I will drink a little bit of black tea or eat a little piece of dark chocolate to up my oxalate intake a little bit so the dumping slows down and I dump slower like a stream instead of a rushing torrent of oxalates that cause me to feel so bad that I don't even want to get out of bed. So every body is different. A lot of us don't know that we're dumping oxalates. We don't know what it is, but we all have them. We all have to dump them. You do have them if you eat plants. If you're eating carnivore or very few plants, ketovore, you're having a lot fewer oxalates coming in, and over time your dumping will become minimal to zero. And that's my goal, not to have any of that. I'm a carnivore for that reason, as well as many other reasons, health-wise. One of them is I don't want the anti-nutrient called oxalate that take away my nutrition and cause dumping problems. Oxalate dumping is like a little tumbleweed with sharp spikes that goes through your body. And as it's tumbling, it's ripping and tearing and it hurts. That's what oxalate dumping is. It's like a little tumbleweed going through your body, a whole bunch of little tumbleweeds. You want those suckers out of your body as fast as possible, but not too fast that it causes too much damage. If you like this content, click the thumbs up, subscribe and share, and have a great day.